Hey, here we are back again, part 3 of Rikki Tikki Tavi. This may be the exciting conclusion. We'll just see how the time goes as snake guts are blasted all over the bathroom. My dear, let's get back to the story, page 23, right below the retell section there. When morning came, he was very stiff but well pleased with his doings. Now I have Najita to settle with, and she'll be worse than 5 nags, and still there's no knowing when the eggs she spoke of will hatch. Goodness, I must go see Darzee, he said. Without waiting for breakfast, Rikki Tikki Tavi ran to the thorn bush where Darzee was singing a song of triumph at the top of his voice. The news of Nag's death was all over the garden, for the sweeper had thrown the body away in a rubbish heap. "Oh, you stupid tuft of feathers," said Rikki Tikki angrily. "Is this any time to sing?" "Nag is dead, is dead, is dead," sang Darzee. "The valiant Rikki Tikki caught him by the head and held fast. The big man brought the bang stick, and Nag fell in 2 pieces. He will never eat my babies again." "And that's true enough. But where's Najina?" said Rikki Tikki, looking carefully round him.
Kathy Phillips, can you please call?
Najina came into the bathroom, squeezed, and called for Nag, Darzee went on. And Nag came out on the end of a stick. The sweeper picked him up on the end of a stick and threw him on the rubbish heap. "Let's sing about the great red-eyed Rikki Tikki." Darzee filled his throat and sang. "If I could get up to your nest, I'd roll your babies out," said Rikki Tikki. "You don't even know the right thing at the right time. You're safe enough in your nest here, but it's more for me down here. Stop singing a minute, Darzee." "Oh, for the great, beautiful Rikki Tikki's sake, I will stop," said Darzee. "What is it, O killer of the terrible Nag?" "Where is Najina for the 3rd time?" "Oh, she's over on the rubbish heap by the stables. Mourning for Nag." "Great is the Rikki Tikki with the white teeth." "Bother my white teeth! Have you heard where she keeps her eggs?" "Oh, it's in the melon bed, nearest to the end of the wall where the sun strikes nearly all day. She hid there weeks ago." "And you never thought it'd be worthwhile to tell me?" "The nearest end of the wall, you said?" "Rikki Tikki, you're not going to eat her eggs." No, not exactly, no. Darzee, if you have a grain of sense, you will fly off to the stables and pretend your wing is broken and let Najina chase you away to this bush. I must get to the melon bed, and if I went there now, she'd see me." Darzee was a feather-brained little fellow who could never hold more than one idea at a time in his head, and just because he knew that Najina's children were born in eggs like his own, he didn't think it was fair to kill them. But his wife was a sensible bird, and she knew that the cobra's eggs meant young cobras later on, so she flew off from the nest and left Darzee to keep the babies warm to continue his song about the death of Nag. Darzee was very, very like a man in some ways. She fluttered up in front of Najina in the rubbish heap and cried out, "Oh, my wing is broken! The boy in the house threw a stone at me and broke it!" Then she fluttered more desperately than ever. Najina lifted up her head and hissed, "You warned Rikki Tikki when I could have killed him. And indeed and truly you've chosen a bad place to be lame in." And she moved toward Darzee's wife, slipping over the dust. "Oh, the boy broke it with a stone!" shrieked Darzee's wife. "Well, it may be some consolation to you to know that when you're dead I shall settle accounts with the boy. My husband lies in the rubbish heap this morning, but before night the boy in the house will lie very still. What's the use of running away? I'm sure to catch you, little fool. Look at me!" Darzee's wife knew better than to do that, for a bird who looks in a snake's eyes gets frightened and she cannot move. Darzee's wife fluttered on, piping sorrowfully and never leaving the ground, and Najina quickened her pace. Rikki Tikki heard them going through the path through the stables and raced to the end of the melon patch near the wall. There, in the warm litter above the melons, very cunningly hidden, he found 25 eggs, about the size of a batam's eggs, but with whitish skins instead of shells. "I was not a day too soon," he said, for he could see the baby cobras curled up inside the skin, and he knew that the minute they were hatched, they could each kill a man or a mongoose. He bit off the tops of the eggs as fast as he could, taking care to crush the young cobras, and turned over the litter from time to time to see whether he had missed any. At last there were only 3 eggs left, and Rikki Tikki began to chuckle to himself when he heard Darzee's wife screaming, Rikki Tikki, I led Nagina toward the house and she's gone into the veranda and oh, come quickly, she means killing. Rikki Tikki smashed 2 eggs and tumbled backward down the melon bed with the 3rd egg in his mouth and scuttled to the veranda as hard as he could put foot to the ground. Teddy and his mother and father were there at breakfast, but Rikki Tikki saw they were not eating anything. They sat stone still, and their faces were white. Nagina was coiled up on the mat by Teddy's chair within easily striking distance of Teddy's bare leg, and she was swaying to and fro, singing a song of triumph. Son of the big man that killed Nag, she hissed. Stay still! I'm not ready yet! Wait a little! Keep very still, all you 3. If you move, I strike. And if you do not move, I strike. Ho, 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 foolish people who killed my Nag. Teddy's eyes were fixed on his father, and all his father could do was whisper, Sit still, Teddy. You mustn't move. Teddy, keep still. Then Rikki Tikki came up and cried, Turn around, Nagina. Turn and fight. Oh, in good time, said she without moving her eyes. I will settle my account with you presently. Look at your friends, Rikki Tikki. They are still in white. They're afraid. They dare not move. And if you come a step nearer, I strike. Look at your eggs, said Rikki Tikki. In the melon bed, near the wall. Go and look, Nagina. The big snake turned half around and saw the egg on the veranda. Aha! Give it to me, she said. Rikki Tikki put his paws on each side of the egg, and his eyes were blood red. What price for a snake's egg? For a young cobra? For a young king cobra? For the very last of the brood? The ants are eating all the others down by the melon bed. Nagina spun clear around, forgetting everything for the sake of the one egg. And Rikki Tikki saw Teddy's father shoot out a big hand and catch Teddy by the shoulder and drag him across the little table with the teacups, safe and sound out of the reach of Nagina. Tricked! Trick, 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 tick, 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 chuckled Rikki Tikki. The boy is safe, and it was I that caught Nag by the hood last night in the bathroom. Then he began to jump up and down on all 4 feet together, his head close to the floor. He threw me to and fro, but he could not shake me off. He was dead before the big man blew him in two. I did it. Rick, tick, 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 tick. Come then, Nagina. Come fight with me. You shall not be a widow long. Nagina saw that she had lost her chance of killing Teddy, and the egg lay between Rikki Tikki's paws. Give me the egg, Rikki Tikki. Give me the last of my eggs, and I will go away and never come back, she said, lowering her hood. Yes, you will go away, and you will never come back, for you will go away in the rubbish heap with Nag. Fight, widow! The big man's gone for his gun. Fight! Rikki Tikki was bounding all round Nagina, keeping just out of the reach of her stroke, and his little eyes were like hot coals. Nagina gathered herself and flung out at him. Rikki Tikki jumped up and backwards again and again. She struck, and each time her head came within a whack of the matting on the veranda, and she gathered herself like a watch spring. Then Rikki Tikki danced in a circle to get behind her, and Nagina spun round to keep her head to his head, so the rustle of her tail on the matting sounded like dry leaves being blown along by the wind. He had forgotten the egg. It lay still on the veranda, and Nagina came near to it, till at last, where Rikki Tikki was drawing breath, she caught it in her mouth, turned to the veranda steps, and flew like an arrow down the path with Rikki Tikki behind her. When the cobra runs for her life, she goes like a whiplash flipped across a horse's neck. Rikki Tikki knew he must catch her, or all the trouble would begin again. She headed straight for the long grass by the thorn bush, and as he was running, Rikki Tikki heard Darzee still singing his foolish little song of triumph. But Darzee's wife was wiser. She flew off her nest as Nagina came along, flapped her wings about Nagina's head. And if Darzee has helped, they might have turned her, but Nagina only lowered her hood and went on. Still, the instant's delay brought Rikki Tikki up to her, and as she plunged into the rat hole where she and Nag used to live, his little white teeth clenched on her tail, and down he went with her. And very few mongooses, however wise and old they may be, care to follow a cobra into its hole. It was dark in the hole, and Rikki Tikki knew when it might open up and give Nagina room to turn and strike at him. He held on savagely and stuck his feet out as brakes on the dark slope of the hot, moist earth. Then the grass by the mouth of the hole stopped waving, and Darzee said, "Oh, it's over with Rikki Tikki. We must sing his death song. Valiant Rikki Tikki is dead, for Nagina will surely kill him underground." So he sang a very mournful song that he made up just at the spur of the minute. And just as he got to the most touching part, the grass quivered, and Rikki Tikki, covered with dirt, dragged himself out of the hole, leg by leg, licking his whiskers. Darzee stopped with a little shout. Rikki Tikki shook some of the dust off his fur and sneezed. "Achoo! It's all over," he said. "The widow will never come out again." And the red ants that began to live in the grass stems heard him and began to troop down, one after the other, to see if he had spoken the truth. Rikki Tikki curled himself up in the grass and slept where he was, slept till late afternoon, for he had done a hard day's work. "Now," he said when he awoke, "I will go back to the house. Tell the coppersmith, Darzee, and he will tell the garden that Nagina is dead." The coppersmith is a bird who makes a noise exactly like the beating of a little hammer on the copper pot. And the reason he is always making it is because he's the town crier, and every Indian garden tells all the news to everybody who cares to listen. As Rikki Tikki went up the path, he heard his attention notes, like a tiny dinner gong, and the steady ding-dong-tock, Nag is dead. Dong, Nagina is dead, ding-dong-tock. And that set all the birds in the garden singing and the frogs croaking. For Nag and Nagina used to eat frogs as well as little birds. When Rikki got to the house, Teddy and Teddy's mother, she looked very white still, for she had been fainting, and Teddy's father came out and almost cried over him. And that night he ate all that was given to him till he could eat no more, and went to bed on Teddy's shoulder, where Teddy's mother saw him. And when she came in to look later that night, "He saved our lives and Teddy's life," she said to her husband. "Just think, he saved all our lives." Rikki Tikki woke up with a jump, for mongooses are light sleepers. "Oh, it's you," said he. "What are you bothering for? All the cobras are dead, and if they weren't, I'm here." Rikki Tikki had a right to be proud of himself, but he did not grow too proud, and he kept that garden as a mongoose should, kept it with tooth and jump, with spring and bite, till a cobra never dared show its head inside the walls. Darzee's chant sung in honor of Rikki Tikki Tavi. "Singer and tailor am I, doubted the joys that I know, proud of my look to the sky, proud of the house that I sew, over and under so I weave my music, so I reave the house that I sew. Sing to your fledgling again, mother, oh lift up your head, evil that plagued us is slain, death in the garden lies dead, terror that hid in the roses is impotent, flung on the dunghill and dead. Who is delivered is who? Tell me his nest and his name. Rikki the valiant, the true, Tikki with eyeballs of flame. Rikki Tikki Tikki, the ivory fang, the hunter with eyeballs of flame. Give him the thanks of the birds, bowing with tail feathers spread, praising with nightingale words. Nay, I will praise him instead. Here I will sing the praise of the bottle-tailed Rikki Tikki with eyeballs of red." Here Rikki Tikki interrupted, so the rest of the song is lost.